Alright, I just watched the new Netflix movie Atlas starring Jennifer Lopez, Simu Liu, Sterling K. Brown, and Mark Strong. And no spoilers. I'm gonna keep it pretty simple. If I do talk about any spoilers, it's gonna be at the very end, and I will give fair warning. So how I kept hearing about this movie, and I've always been a fan of Simu Liu, so that was my very first interest in this film. Now I'm a fan of Jennifer Lopez. I'm no expert on hers. I grew up watching a few of her, like in Made in Manhattan, and I recently watched Hustlers, which she was in. But again, it's been a minute since I've watched her in anything, so I was intrigued, seeing that she was going to be in this and Simu Liu. And to be honest, like a lot of the reviews I kept seeing and the talk about around this movie intrigued me, just because a lot of the talk is about how bad this movie is. And one article in particular that I read, it read Jennifer Lopez and Simu Liu in another Netflix movie made to half watch while doing laundry. I just thought it was so brutal, and I didn't want to believe it, and but at the same time I wanted to check it out for myself. And look, I didn't go in with high expectations, and I think that's been a great thing lately in the wasteland of movies these days, is to like why go in with such high expectations? This, especially with a movie that's going straight to Netflix. It has $100 million budget. It's it knows it's getting released straight to Netflix, and it's not trying to be more than what it actually is, I feel like, and it does focus on the characters, which I appreciate. And again, I went in with very low expectations, and I think that's, like what don't expect this to be a Star Wars movie. You don't expect this to be, like the best sci-fi movie you've ever seen, but it's still a fun watch, and I thought it was enjoyable, and I definitely think it's better than a lot of the things that have been coming out. Like the way that people talked about this movie almost was as bad as Madam Web, and I was like, no way, it can't be that bad. And upon watching it verified that it was miles above Madam Web, and I was pleased. So go in with low expectations. If you're a fan of Jennifer Lopez, Simu Liu, I think you'll enjoy it. And so I just didn't remember from when I watched the trailer, but when Sterling is that his name? Sterling K. Brown showed up, I was like, oh shit, they actually have some awesome people in this. Like I more recently saw him in American Fiction, but he was in Black Panther, the first one, and then what else did he do? He was in The People versus O.J. Simpson. He was in I said American Fiction. Okay. Oh, is he in The Marvelous Miss Maisel? Okay. Anyways, Mark Strong is also in it, who I most know from the Kick-Ass movies and Shazam, Kingsman, Sherlock Holmes, Cruella. He's good. So I kind of liked that it felt very aware of its kind of like B movie element of kind of being straight to Netflix, and I thought it really utilized its budget well. It had some really big stars, and that definitely took a chunk out of it, but yeah, it has problems. I think it could have given us more on some of the world building and stuff, but there's definitely some questions it left unanswered, or created more questions than it answered, I should say, at times. More on its commentary about AI, but again, I don't think it was meant to be like a interstellar type, breakdown, think too hard about this movie, and no, it's everything I feel like it's focusing on is the relationship with Jennifer Lopez and her AI companion Smith. And speaking of that, one of the things that I read that I really loved was that Jennifer Lopez was reading lines with her husband Ben Affleck for Smith, and Smith's played by different actor Gregory James Cohen. But when I heard that she had read lines with Ben Affleck, I wished that they just got Ben Affleck for doing the voice of Smith. That would have been so perfect, and it really does show. Well, Sterling K. Brown says. Every once in a while, Ben would read the lines for Smith, and I think the newlywed, still very much in love, I think she just wanted to hear his voice, Brown said in an interview. And so sometimes the reactions that you got from her were because she was listening to her husband's voice. So that throws me off. That quote throws me off. Like, was he actually there on set? Or were they doing phone calls, Zoom calls on set? Like, the reactions we saw, like, he doesn't get a credit in the movie, which is what throws me off. Like, if he was actually on the set, I think he'd have to get a credit for that, especially if he's doing, even if he's doing temp voice work that they're laying over with. Imagine laying over Ben Affleck's voice, like imagine having Ben Affleck's voice recorded, and you're like, no, let's get a unknown actor to dub it, like, and it's not even for like a language purpose, it's just. Yeah, so that quote kind of throws me off. So I don't think it says the reactions that you got from her were because she was listening to her husband's voice. No, again, unless there's something that comes out that says he was actually there, or his voice was actually there. But I understand, and I still like the idea that while rehearsing and practicing for the role of Atlas, Jennifer Lopez would practice with Ben Affleck off screen. I still like that, that she practiced with him. That still shows in a way on the screen. And by far, Jennifer Lopez is the best part of this movie, and she does a really fantastic job. And I think another aspect for me was I've never seen Jennifer Lopez in this scenario before, in this genre before, in this type of movie. And so that was an exciting aspect. I just wanted to see her kick some ass, and she certainly does. And again, don't expect like Weta Digital VFX. Keep it low. This is Netflix. This is like, I've just kind of become attuned to this kind of like, okay, I'm keeping my expectations at this, okay, and like every once in a while it will allow for surprises where it's like, whoa, that was actually better than I thought it was going to be, or like, oh, that explosion, they pulled that off, oh, that wasn't really, like Netflix has a very specific type of VFX, and it looks very low budget. And so anytime, again, allows for more surprises, allows for more, as well as disappointments too. It can still disappoint you and it can still surprise you, but it allows for more of those, I feel like, and especially more for allows for more surprises. And yeah, no, emotionally held together for me. Again, I think her relationship with the AI was beautiful, and okay, it wasn't. By the end of it, it was beautiful. It definitely made me think of like Master Chief and Cortana, and I thought of the video game Titanfall, which I ended up reading was a big influence for this movie that the director mentioned. I only played it a couple times, but I kept thinking of, I was like, this reminds me of that game. And a lot of other movies, Terminator and all that jazz. Alien 2. But no, just for how bad people talked about this movie, even that review that I read, the made to half watch while doing laundry, they still at the end, like, they compliment the film really highly. For a futuristic planet hopping adventure, Atlas feels awfully tiny as a romance, minus the actual romance. Yes, it was very romantic without the romance, which I loved, because a lot of your women-led movies, they're expected to fall in love with a man. And that was one thing I really loved about the first Captain Marvel movie, and what I felt was grounded about the movie Atlas, and I appreciated that. It didn't feel forced, and it was just kind of a friendship, and I thought that was beautiful. And I did kind of tear up a little bit at the end. I thought it was a sweet movie by the end. For like a sci-fi action movie, I thought it was kind of sweet. For a B movie action sci-fi flick, it surprised me in that sense. But again, going back to the made to half watch laundry review, this is the same review they add, but there's something oddly relatable, even romantic, about its hope that healing one's heart might be the first step in saving the world. And I thought that was beautiful. I thought that was... So don't listen to the headlines. Like, they clearly just... Like, why shit on the movie so bad in the one thing that people see, the headline, and then you go on to compliment it like that later. Like, why not put that in the headline? That should have been, It just seems mean. I think the trades have been not kind to this movie, and I think it's definitely got the representation there. Jennifer Lopez with the Latino community, and Simi Liu, Asian, and Sterling K. Brown with the African American community. Like, this is, and Jennifer Lopez being a woman, and she's in this badass role. Like, she's awesome. I hope she gets more stuff from this, and I think it's slowly kind of picking up on Netflix. Like, again, this is better than a lot of the other stuff that's out there. Fun. This is just a fun movie, and it's a good adventure. Keep your expectations low. Just throw it on, like, I threw it on not really expecting to be that engaged, but it actually made me keep stopping what I was doing and rewind the movie and start over. And I had a good time. So hopefully you guys will too. Again, if you're a fan of Jennifer Lopez, if you're a fan of Simi Liu, Sterling K. Brown, Mark Strong, if you're into action movies, sci-fi, and you just want something easy, and you want to see Jennifer Lopez be a badass, check out Atlas. If you hate it, you can come back here and tell me, and I'll apologize to you. But just don't think it as bad as the headlines are making it out to be. This is certainly no Madame Web. This is... What's the last sci-fi movie I watched? I mean, I could actually see some people saying they like this better than the Marvels. I love the Marvels. Totally different, but this movie was fun. I would totally rewatch this. This is a movie I would want to throw on every once in a while. It's a cool flick. So let me know what you guys thought. I don't really want to... There's no spoilers I really want to dive into. But yeah, no, let me know. I will talk about one thing. But yeah, let me know down below what you guys think of Atlas, or if you're going to watch it. Now I will talk about a few spoilers, maybe. But let's see. Okay, so okay. Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. Stop watching. Their commentary on AI was a little confusing to me, but it was also like, maybe that's the point. Is like, are they trying to say, is this a pro AI movie? Is this a, or what are they trying to say? Like, some are bad, some are good. It wasn't really clear how they differentiate that, and like what... That wasn't super clear to me, or that didn't really fully stick the landing for me, on this could... The thing that happened with Simi Liu could never happen with the robot that Jennifer Lopez is attached to. Nothing could go wrong with that. Like, that's still the part that's hard for me to believe, if that makes sense. But for people who've watched, obviously you've made it this far. What did you guys think? Did you guys get a takeaway that this was like pro AI, no AI? I haven't read anything. Atlas Netflix movie using AI. Hollywood actress Jennifer Lopez calls AI really scary, expresses fear against the technology. So I don't think she would have signed on to this movie if she thought it was like, let's use... Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that they use AI on this movie. This just looks like a low-budget Netflix VFX, And for being low-budget Netflix VFX, I think they're pretty... They sell... the story comes across. What they're trying to tell comes across. I'm not here for the visuals. I am more here for the actors. I'm here for getting to see Jennifer Lopez be a badass. And I felt like that mission was achieved. And she did a really fucking good job. I thought she was awesome. So, yeah, again, since we're in Spoilerville, that scene where Smith pulls out the little square tablet of food. Well, I thought it was food. And when you realize it's called... That moment, her reaction was so perfect. And really just tied up the movie for me. Perfect. Yeah, we can talk... so, I think its good moments outlive its bad moments. And, like, the bad moments, I don't want to think about it too much, because that's not what it was trying to be. It was focusing on the Smith and Atlas story, which I liked. So very good. I don't need a sequel. That was the story for me. It feels like a nice standalone little movie. But anyways, let me know what you guys thought. If you guys are gonna watch, if you guys liked it or hated it, or if you guys are returning, let me know if you hate me now for recommending this. Alright, well, thank you guys. Stay tuned for more news videos. Thanks for watching.